Hi, I'm Nancy Wood. I'm a patient partner with the BC Emergency Medicine Network. And during this time of COVID-19, we've become very aware that many patients, understandably, were concerned about going to emergency for things other than COVID-19. And so it became kind of interesting to find out, well, what were people doing in cases of emergencies when they had a situation that needed to be seen by an emergency doctor? So friends of mine, Lucia and her partner Ken, had that situation recently. And I know Lucia and Ken through my local community and through a lot of Facebook posts. And one day, Lucia posted that she'd been in emergency in the middle of the night, and she did tell everyone that she was okay. But of course, our first concern, those people who follow Lucia, was to say, what's happened? So, Lucia, welcome today, and thank you for being here. And I'm just wondering if you can share with us not so much what happened to you, but when you went to emergency, when you woke up and realized that you had to go, and this is for you too, Ken, what went through your mind given that we were in this pandemic?
First of all, thanks for having me, Nancy, and I'm very happy to do this. But the first thing that went into my mind was, oh my goodness, I cannot go to emergency and take up all the caregivers' times for something like this, because COVID is so much more, and everything that's going on, they don't need that extra work. That was my first initial reaction. My second reaction was, I don't really like going to the emergency because, of course, the waiting and all that. But I have to say that when we first got there, it was not unlike what I've experienced before, like normal times. You can't even get past the door without getting all your questions, taking your temperature. And my husband, Ken, of course, was with me, and, he was ready and prepared to walk in. And they said, no, I'm sorry, you can't come in. And although that panicked me, I felt safe. I felt good. They're doing everything right so far in my books in order to protect and, doing all those safety things that they possibly can. And not until you pass all those tests do you then get to go in and sit and wait for the doctor to see you. And not only that, there was a room outside the emergency room where the doctor attended to you, which was really brilliant, because you're not going into the emergency room where there could be some critical things happening, which could impact some of the patients that were in there. So that was amazing. Everybody was wearing their protective gear. There was sanitary at the door. Like, seriously, could not get past go until you had all those checked, until you checklist. So really bang on job on what I felt.
Well, that's really reassuring. Now, Ken, how did you feel when suddenly you had to just do sort of a drop off? Where did you go?
It was just another layer of protection that I saw that they put out there that was quite impressive. I did drop Lucia off. Matter of fact, I parked the car and I walked to the door, kind of expecting that I'd be able to sit in the room with her. But in this case, they stop you at the door. Sorry, only one person allowed it. And I kind of reeled back and thinking about that, and it was a great idea. So of course, I just went back to the car and I waited for Lucia, but we texted each other to make sure everything was okay. And we were communicating outside of the hospital and inside the hospital. So it was a perfect setup, and it was very professionally done, very clean, very informative. The signage was great. And the social distancing outside was wonderful. So, I have nothing but great things to say about it.
Well, that's terrific. So at no point did you ever worry that A, I'm taking up a space from someone who might, need it more than I do, or B, that, oh my goodness, by coming to emergency, I'm now going to be vulnerable to picking up something that I don't want. So none of that happened, like none of those feelings.
None of those feelings happened, no.
And how long were you in emergency, if you don't mind me asking?
I actually was there for about an hour and a half, which was really good. Normal times, they're over inundated. And that's one of the reasons why I didn't want to go, is because they're always so busy and they've got so much going on. But you know, I'm thinking to myself, oh my goodness, this was the fastest I've ever been through here, because they're taking that extra care and not just allowing the room to fill, going through all their checks. And yeah, no, I the experience was so amazing. I'm so impressed. And the reason why I wanted to post that is because of that. I was okay, but I was so impressed that I was so proud of our local hospital that I wanted to put it out there.
I'm glad you're better, and I hope you're all better.
It was not because of COVID. It was just a minor thing that, you know, was going on, and I had to get it looked at because a bit of pain was going on. But other than that, it was fast. It was incredible. And the other thing I wanted to put out there is the medical staff. Unbelievable. Like, they do it like it's just what they do, and there's no and making you feel uncomfortable. And my hat's off to the medical field. I mean, amazing.
Lucia, one of the things that I've wondered about, and I've certainly seen people talking about, is when you go into the ER and the medical staff, they're often wearing the big masks, like the mask and then the plexiglass mask. Did you find that was intimidating, or, you know, difficult, some kind of a barrier in terms of communicating with people?
No barrier. And I was happy to see that, because their lives are important as well, and they need to protect themselves. They do it day to day. And no, I did not feel intimidated at all.
So my final question really is, if someone was thinking about having any indecision about going to emergency because something was happening and they're worried about, oh, I shouldn't go to emergency because of COVID-19 and taking up places, or maybe I'm going to get sicker if I go to emergency, what would your recommendation be?
My recommendation would be don't. We have the best medical team.
And go to emergency. If there's something wrong with you and you feel there's something wrong with you, by all means, your health is more important. We have a facility right at our doorstep here. Our community is getting bigger by the day, and we have it right at our doorstep.
We are lucky, and thank you so much for sharing your experience and your views. And I think that tonight, when I do my pot banging, and I know it's because the numbers are looking really quite good, I think the pot banging is starting to be less and less, but I'm going to do an extra special pot banging just having heard your wonderful story. And thank you so much for sharing it with us, and stay well.
Thank you, Nancy. Stay well too.
And stay safe.
Thank you.